My name is Miguel Leal. I'm co-founder and CEO of SOMOS Foods. We make delicious and convenient Mexican food. And today we're going to be talking to my friend and fellow founder, Jing from Fly by Jing. Well, thank you, Jing, for talking to us about this. Just wanted to talk a little bit about the story of Salsa Macha, because after seeing what you've done with Asian cuisine and the success that you've had with Sichuan chili crisp, it really inspired us to maybe, do something a little bit more forward and launch our Salsa Macha. So I just wanted to start by just sharing how much of an inspiration it's been, the journey that you personally and Fly by Jing have been into, and how you're paving the way for products not even in the Asian aisle, but in the Mexican set to come in and get it to this market.
I'm so happy to hear that. I think that, one of the things that I want to celebrate with Sichuan chili crisp is the diversity of flavors, even within Sichuan cuisine, let alone Chinese cuisine, let alone, Mexican cuisine, so many others, right? By showing that there can be different shades, even within chili oils, right? Like every family in my hometown has their own version. My family has their own version. They taste my product and they're like, oh, that tastes different. I think, that's what we're all doing, is just exposing people and their palates and their minds to more, to understand that, to allow other cultures to not feel so flat to the mainstream audience.
Yeah, I think in order, to bring it to consumers and to challenge those misconceptions, we need to probably, change it first for us, so we can, communicate it and invite people, to try something from our homes.
Yeah.
I started having your Sichuan chili crisp with dumplings, but now I have it a lot with tacos. So sometimes, I want a little crunch on the tacos, and my favorite part is the paste at the bottom. So I'm kind of like waiting, for like the right ratio.
Yeah, I think that's what we hear from our customers a lot. It's like dumplings, eggs are probably the highest too, and then noodles, obviously pasta. Some people just eat it with nothing, just by itself on the spoon. I think, oftentimes, if especially when you're at home and like late at night and hungry and tired, and you make an instant ramen, usually the flavor is not that great, so you add a little chili crisp and it makes everything better. And I use it a lot in cooking, actually. So I find that it's like sometimes when you're cooking and stir frying or whatever, it actually adds this layer of like secret flavor that it might not be the most dominant flavor in the dish, but it adds layers of umami, and it takes hours and hours and hours, enough if not months of time that the flavor develops, right, when it's in that jar. And to have all of that time have a shortcut and just put a tablespoon in your soup or your stew, it makes so much of a difference.
When I recommend Sichuan chili crisp, or when I recommend Salsa Macha, sometimes I have a hard time explaining what it is, because it is not a salsa. It is also not a topping. Like, I love the way that you said it. It really resonated with me. It is an oil-based condiment. And I think, salsa has taken over like so much that sometimes people look at products like this and they are confused. Like, am I supposed to put it on a chip, or like how to eat it? And now we create this texture where you have the oil, you have the pepper, but you also have these nuts that have been roasted and gives a little bit of umami to it. So in that way, they do behave similarly in its diversity of recipes.
Yeah, I think we really have an understanding of flavor and taste, and there's a reason why salt, fat, acid, and heat work, right? Because that is the cornerstones of flavor. And without a balance of all those things, then you don't have something that's ultimately satisfying for your palate. And I think in the West, for so long we've had acid-based hot sauces, right? They're lacto-fermented hot sauces that are just acidic. For us, we put chili sauce on everything, right? And the reason why we use an oil is because it goes with so many more things. In China, in Sichuan, there's a version of chili oil that is loaded with seeds. It's called 5-seed sauce.
In Mexico, it has become a little bit of a phenomenon, salsa matcha. And even in Mexico, salsa matcha is having its moment right now. And what I've realized, I've taken some of the samples that we make to my mom, and she has a very similar reaction to your family. She's like, oh, I would have never thought of doing something like this. Like in Monterrey, in the north where we are from, it's a lot more chili based and a lot more nuts as part of it. It's not as many seeds. But in the west and in the center of Mexico, it is very seedy. And I just think what ends up happening is every region ends up putting on it, because it's the ingredients that you have available, really what is part of that region in Mexico. You've been to Mexico and the different parts have more fruit forward and more nuts forward, or more, seeds are from the
and
west.
The type of chili you use is a huge difference. And Mexico is known for so many different types of chilies that are smoky, fruity, nutty, and every product is really a reflection of the ingredients that you put into it. And every ingredient has such a wide spectrum of type and quality. A chili is not the same as another chili. And the reason why so many mass-produced products on shelf, we feel like they taste kind of watered down or neither here nor there, and why products like ours, which are small batch, stand out, is because they control variability in their ingredients, and therefore they lose something in that process.
The point that you're making about ingredients is such a big one. But I think for this process, or for this product also, process becomes very important. This is probably the toughest project that I've had in terms of scaling up.
Yeah.
But that is the magic, like you said, it wouldn't be the product without the small batch, and I would rather have the best product out there that is hard to make than a product that it's easy to make that doesn't put, Rodrigo's family recipe with the best foot forward.
Products like ours may not be associated with the mainstream audience yet, because it is a different format. Like we said, people are not used to, oil-based sauces. They have to use a spoon to use this. But I think my goal, and we can work on this together, is to make these types of products an everyday item in people's households, and to the point where they can't eat their eggs without it, they can't eat their pizza without it. And once it gets to that point, then I can see it in the Asian aisle, in the Mexican aisle, and in the hot sauce aisle, and maybe even more, some more aisles.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Wow. And the almonds, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. Really like it. You wouldn't expect, because mine is so savory, and there's a lot of garlic in there, but it works. It's really nice. It's very, it's just meant to be. My hands are full of chili oil.
What a great place to be.